In today's video, we'll be talking about Animals by Pink Floyd. The album was released on January 21st, 1977. It is celebrating its 45th anniversary. This is considered one of the best Pink Floyd albums, and it was released in the same decade as some of their classics such as Dark Side of the Moon, Wish You Were Here, and The Wall. So I remember when I was younger, my brother had this album. I remember reading the song titles back then. I always thought it was kind of strange, like just like 5 songs, and the titles were like dogs and sheep. And back then, I didn't really understand the concept of the album, so for that reason, I didn't really listen to the album a lot when I was younger. But it wasn't until years later I really started to understand the brilliance of this album and the concept that it was trying to convey. So in 1975, Pink Floyd bought a 3-story block of church halls, and they converted it into a recording studio. So the construction lasted more than a year. And in 1976, they were able to start recording the album. During that time, the band wanted to bring in another guitarist for future tours. So they brought in Snowy White. He was a guitarist who also played with Thin Lizzy. Snowy White recorded a solo for Pigs on the Wing, and that solo was not included on the vinyl release, but they did include it on the 8-track. So the album is based on George Orwell's Animal Farm. So the animals represent different classes in society. The dogs were the predators, the pigs were the rulers, and the sheep were just the ones who followed blindly. There were a few differences between the concept of the album and the original Animal Farm. So the latter being about Stalinism and the former being mostly a critique about capitalism. It's also interesting to note that this album was also released during the punk rock movement. And you can even say that this album is like a response to the punk rock movement, with Pink Floyd giving their take on their like social and political conditions at that time. Now the album art was created by Hypnosis. They had done their previous album covers. They actually offered a few suggestions for album covers. The first idea was a small child entering a parent's bedroom, but the band rejected that idea. So the final concept of the album came from Roger Waters, and he wanted to use an image of the Battersea Power Station, and he wanted to have a floating pig between the 2 stacks. Hypnosis said that's not a problem, they can just superimpose the image of the pig into the photo, but Roger Waters said he wanted to have a balloon pig built for a subsequent tour, and it would be better to like float it between the stacks and kind of get the shot. The first day they had everything ready. They even hired a marksman to shoot the pig if it started to fly away, but due to weather conditions they really couldn't get the shot. The next day they tried again, but they didn't hire the marksman that day, so the pig flew away. It flew over Heathrow Airport, caused flight delays. The pig was eventually found by a farmer in Kent, and the farmer was not happy because the pig actually scared his cows. Then they tried a third day, but the early photos were considered better, so in the end they basically went back to the original idea of just superimposing the pig onto the photo. So the album starts off with Pigs on the Wing Part 1. And this is actually just a half a song. It's only 1 minute and 25 seconds. It's a love song. Acoustic, something that Pink Floyd was not really known for. It was written by Roger Waters for his wife at that time. Next is Dogs. This is the longest song on the album. It was written by both David Gilmour and Roger Waters. Both of them were on lead vocals. The original title of the song was called You've Got to Be Crazy, and the original version was written during the Wish You Were Here sessions. The song features acoustic guitars as well as some like unusual chord structures. David Gilmour plays a guitar solo early in the song. There are parts of the song where it kind of gets quiet and atmospheric, and you do hear dogs barking and howling. The song is about a competitive business world, and the lyrics describe like a predatory, high-powered businessman. First verses talk about his predatory nature, someone who's very charming and respectable, and a club tie and a firm handshake, a certain look in the eye and an easy smile, while at the same time, wanting to stab those who trust him in the back. In the end, he's portrayed as someone who is just another sad old man, all alone, dying of cancer. So the final verse compares dogs to the business world, such as obeying their superiors and being rewarded with good behavior. The next song is called Pigs, 3 different ones. This is Roger Waters' song. He talks about how pigs are the people at the top of the social ladder and how they manipulate society to be competitive, and that keeps the pigs in power. The song also uses a vocoder talk box that's used to create the sound of the pig during one of the interludes. The song is 11 minutes and 28 seconds long, but when it's played live, sometimes it does go up to like 20 minutes. Roger Waters began playing this song live during shows again in like 2016. And his shows were filled with lots of like Donald Trump imagery and cartoons during those shows. Now the next song is Sheep. The song was originally titled Raving and Drooling. They had performed like the first version of this song live a few times in 1974. It was written by Roger Waters. The original song had different lyrics than the one on the final version, but the original concept was somebody kind of going insane. The song also has a few versions of it. There's like a 4-minute and 14-second single version. The album version is 10 minutes, 20 seconds. And in the live version, Snowy White kind of plays the bass guitar, and Roger Waters and David Gilmour play the electric. And this live version sounds very similar to the album version. And in this song, the sheep do rise up in the end and kill the dogs. And the final song is the second half of the first song, the acoustic love song written by Roger Waters. So, in conclusion, like I said before, this is an album that I did get into much later. It's probably one of my favorites out of the entire discography. And I think if you listen to it a few times and listen to the lyrics, you do see the brilliance in what the band is trying to convey. I definitely recommend this album if you're a newcomer to the band, as it is one of their classics. So that is all. Up next, I will be doing my retro review of Between the Buttons by the Rolling Stones. I will also try to get in some new releases by Ashes of Aris and Kissin' Dynamite. So those will all be next week. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. So if you enjoyed this video, please check out my other video. I did a video on Pink Floyd's Metal, celebrating 50 years. And I will put a link to that right over there, so you can click on that and check it out. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Please remember, like, comment, subscribe. This is JC Rock and Metal Reviews. My name is John, and I will see you all in the next one.